When it comes to the Super Bowl, there are two types of people, those who watch for the game and those who watch for the commercials. And since my heart was broken watching the Lions blow a 17-point lead in the playoffs, I don't want to talk about it. I spent my night judging each commercial, and something felt off. How many ads did you watch and think to yourself, wait, what was that commercial for? I only remember the famous person. Are these brands attaching themselves to stars so big they can't help but be overshadowed by them? There were a few that were able to combine the celebrity and brand together. A good example would be the CeraVe spot with Michael Cera.
I'm Michael Cera, and human skin is my passion, which is why I developed this. CeraVe.
It was based around a pun playing on Cera's last name. It tied him to the product, which he promoted in a way only he could.
Let my cream hydrate you.
It rubs the lotion on its skin.
It checks the boxes. A motivated celebrity cameo, and a story centered around the product they're trying to sell. These next 5 commercials check the cameo box, but fail when it comes to being anything but a star vehicle. Have we become so decadent as a society that some of our biggest brands feel they can get away making a commercial about nothing?
Nothing.
Yeah, they do. They really do. But at least they were entertaining. Most of them, at least. And this is a list of the top 5 commercials of Super Bowl 58, where the celebrity cameos overshadowed the brands themselves. Number 5. On some level, it's got to be a flex for some of these companies to advertise during the big game. This year, it costs about $7 million for just 30 seconds of airtime, which means State Farm paid $14 million to show you their little action movie, starring the Terminator and former governor Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In this commercial, State Farm, the insurance company, is also a movie studio, shooting a new commercial starring Schwarzenegger. It's a commercial about making a commercial, which is very meta, but he's having a hard time with his lines. His thick accent is preventing him from making the hard R sound, so he can't stick the landing with the company's jingle.
Like a good neighbor, neighbor.
It makes sense if you've seen another State Farm commercial, or you're familiar with Schwarzenegger's story in past films. When he started getting into acting, he was told he would never make it because of his heavy Austrian accent.
I am tired of the same old phrases, the same old things.
That, of course, turned out to be the biggest glass of haterade I'm glad he never drank, because he's one of America's most prominent success stories.
This lady's in labor.
But did it promote the State Farm brand? Is it telling us what State Farm has to offer its customers? I don't think so. The ad is very self-indulgent, in a way that's satisfying for people who like Arnold or funny skits. And I'm not a monster. I do like funny skits, but it fails when it comes to promoting State Farm services. In their defense, they didn't seem interested in being a traditional advertisement in the first place.
State Farm stepped it up. They said, to hell with this commercial stuff. Let's just do an action movie.
Well, mission accomplished. It's one of the better looking commercials I've seen, and the jokes are funny, especially the payoff at the end.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You are a backstabber.
I am a backstabber.
But it kind of fails as an advertisement. How will State Farm make your life better? Why should you choose them over the competition? Are they going to get your claim processed in under 6 months? Is Arnold going to give you a discount on your insurance after your home burns down? I doubt it, and that's why it's on the list.
Cut! Hey, Arnold, I'm hearing neighbor.
Number 4. We're only on the second spot, and I already feel like a Grinch.
Hate.
I guess I just feel weirdly offended by these brands spending so much money producing skits instead of messaging their value. Again, it feels very self-indulgent, almost like a donut. And our number 4 pick, The Dunk Kings, starring Ben Affleck and friends.
Don't go away, my heart. Why you dunking me, girl? Why you dunking? Dunk King. My heart.
This is actually a sequel to another Dunkin' commercial from last year, where Affleck is moonlighting at a drive-thru until his wife, Jennifer Lopez, tells him to come home.
What are you doing here?
That's right, the Dunkin' commercials have lore now. It's a whole Dunkin' cinematic universe. That ad was apparently a huge success, because the day after it aired, Dunkin' reported they sold more donuts than any single day in its history. It worked so good, they're doing it again.
What up, Bronx?
This time, Affleck is crashing her recording studio with his posse, including Tom Brady and Matt Damon.
How do you like them donuts? I'm so sorry.
I think I'd like it more if there were actual donuts. It's easy to make something funny with funny people. It's a lot harder to naturally incorporate a product. There's a conspicuous lack of donuts and coffee. I had to look it up, and apparently the Dunk King iced coffee drink is Affleck's go-to order. It's an iced coffee with vanilla, cream, and cinnamon sugar. Now that you know if you've only seen the commercial, Dunkin' seems to have traded their product endorsement for the ensemble cast. We see more of JLo's new album than we do donuts or coffee in the minute-long version. Matt Damon is here because his production company was hired to make the commercial. It's a bold new direction for storytelling in commercials, where the brand agrees to take a backseat to the celebrities, who get to use the time to plug their own projects. I wonder if this will be a trend. Number 3. One of the biggest stories to come out of the Super Bowl was the announcement that Beyonce is releasing new music.
Okay, they ready. Drop the new music.
And Verizon was nice enough to give her a platform.
Oh, it's coming in really fast.
Yeah, it's Verizon 5G. The network is crazy powerful. I bet you can't break that.
Bet I can.
Wait, what?
Beyonce is trying to break the internet, but is failing because Verizon's network is too strong.
Did I break it?
You broke me.
Oh, no.
Beyonce is being painted as the hero, and Verizon must be the antagonist. Try as she might, Beyonce is unable to take the network down. She can't break the internet. So technically, that means the bad guy wins. Since I'm here to nitpick, they're taking the phrase, break the internet, way too literally. They're hearkening back to the Kim Kardashian magazine cover in 2014, showing her oily butt with the phrase, break the internet, which means to dominate online discourse for a few days. Beyonce doesn't need Verizon to do that. She's already got a committed fan base. Verizon is just trying to harness a sliver of her star power for this one ad. And what did they get in return? Well, in newspapers, Verizon gets mentioned as being the vehicle for the announcement, and then the rest of the story is about the upcoming album. So they at least get a shout out. That's nice. This is the test I have for determining if a celebrity is overshadowing their brand partner. If you're talking to someone casually about a specific ad, how would you describe it? Is it the Verizon commercial or the Beyonce one? Maybe it's inevitable with any commercial starring Beyonce. She's such a big star, she's bound to overshadow any third-party brand she's partnering with. As for the music itself, I think it's good. She seems to be entering her country era, so yeehaw, which makes sense thematically, because she really made out like a bandit on this. She reportedly got paid $30 million for this ad, so unless she's converting millions of people to switch network carriers, I think she's winning this exchange. All this talk about commercials is making me realize I haven't plugged my own thing yet. I gotta pay for this broadcasting degree somehow. So I started a Patreon page. So if you like what I'm doing and want to support me directly, I have a link to that in the description below. I'm offering some cool perks, like exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, and producer credits to whoever signs up. Thanks for checking it out. Alright, now that the ad break is over, let's get back to the commercials. Number 2. The Uber Eats commercial is the only commercial on this list to have this qualification. It's bad. The rest of the ads here are at least entertaining enough to justify their existence, even if they fail to push the brand they're seemingly trying to represent. Uber Eats, on the other hand, is almost asking for you to forget about them. The premise is that to remember something, you need to forget something else. And that Uber Eats has so many things on offer, it's easy to forget everything they have.
Didn't know you could get all this stuff on Uber Eats. Gotta remember that.
Well, you know what they say, in order to remember something, you gotta forget something else.
The rest of it follows celebrities and normal people as they forget about the details of their lives. David and Victoria Beckham forget the name of the pop group she used to belong to.
Remember when you used to be a pepper lady?
Wasn't it the Cinnamon Sisters?
Jelly Roll doesn't remember why he's got face tattoos.
Did someone doodle on my face?
And Jennifer Aniston forgets about her friend's co-star, David Schwimmer.
Have we not?
They were just on a break.
We were on a break!
The last joke is pretty funny if you're a fan of Friends. I personally thought it was mid. Where it falls apart, though, is that the overarching joke just takes too long to explain and actively detracts from the product. This has no business being a minute long either. It's really easy to lose track of what we're talking about. We're introducing a lot of characters. We're spending a lot of time not talking about all the things you could order on Uber Eats. I get the feeling the brand was leaning on the celebrities to close the gap a bit, and they did the best they could with the material, but this whole thing is just too clever by half. And to add insult to injury, apparently this ad caused trouble for Uber Eats themselves. They were called out by a food allergy advocacy group after making a joke about a guy forgetting there are peanuts in peanut butter. I bet they wish we could forget about that.
I hate this town.
Number 1. Alright, so just because this is the last commercial where the famous person overshadows the brand the most, it doesn't mean it's not enjoyable. If anything, this is one of the better skits to air during the Super Bowl. It's funny, it's rich with callbacks, has a great actor, but it utterly fails when it comes to promoting its brand. I'm talking, of course, about BMW's ad starring Christopher Walken.
It's the real deal.
Yeah.
Walken is traveling around the city, and everyone he talks to is doing an impersonation of him.
Of course. Enjoy your coffee.
Your dog's so cute. You know, you look nice.
Okay, we done?
It all culminates with a voiceover as Walken drives away.
There's only one Christopher Walken and only one ultimate driving machine. The rest are just imitations.
Come on.
I think this is a very weak connection. We know Walken is unique, but what's so special about the car? I don't trust you, Mr. Voiceover Man. You gotta show me why this car is the real deal.
It's the real deal. 100%. Electric.
Okay, so it's an electric car, but so what? There's tons of these now. Are you solving range anxiety? Do your batteries work well in the cold? Give me something that makes your car unique. The car is just an accessory in this story. It could be replaced with any other car, and the skit would remain the same. It is totally replaceable, which I think is the opposite of what they were trying to go for. No one is referring to this as the BMW commercial. This is now and forever the Christopher Walken commercial. I do appreciate the Fatboy Slim reference at the end. The pose Usher strikes when he's walking up the stairs is a callback to how Walken starts his dance in the music video for Weapon of Choice. That was cool. If the car could become a Transformer and dance with Walken, then I think you have something great. That would at least be unique. I don't think any of us expect Super Bowl commercials to make a capital A artistic statement about the world or anything. Not everything can be like Apple's 1984, but I at least expect them to have a sense of purpose, especially for the price tag. It might be a problem unique to the Super Bowl audience. It's routinely the largest televised event of the year. This time, more than 120 million people tuned in. That's about a third the population of the United States. I'm somewhat sympathetic to the dilemma this brings for advertisers. How do you sell something to an audience that large and diverse? In the case of these five, they chose to offer generic entertainment instead of selling their product or services. And in doing so, sidelined themselves and put all their eggs in the basket of their endorsers. Will it work out for them in the long term? Who knows? It's kind of a precarious situation if you think about the state of social media at the moment. I'm not totally sure cancel culture is a real thing, but if it is, then a lot of these brands are at the mercy of their brand ambassadors, and whether or not they can avoid controversy. But what do you think? Were there any other commercials that you felt were overshadowed by a famous person? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Until next time, thanks for watching.